Hey guys, this is Crowbar Zero, and today I'm going to do something that is a little special for me because I'm finally hitting a huge milestone that was taking a long time to get to. So, and that milestone was basically like, hey, I want to finish all of the ultimate weapon labs that I think are going to make, any sort of big difference in the foreseeable future. And especially now that we have Ultimate Weapon Plus, I think that kind of solidifies the Ultimate Weapons that we have currently are there to stay. We're probably not going to get any more, especially because just to be able to access Ultimate Weapon Plus, um, there's pretty much like you have to have all the current existing Ultimate Weapons. So, um, yeah, so actually to finally finish a huge chunk of like these important labs is like a huge deal. And so today, before I do that, I'm just going to show you. So my last major one, I'm not talking about GT bonus because that's just part of my econ. Yeah, I've got that rolling up here, but like I'm not worried about econ as much as finishing up like the damaging ultimate weapons, what are their special effects, all of that stuff. So here we go. Actually, that was really convenient. So it already kind of blitzed right over to what I wanted to look at. So missile despawn time, like anything beyond 7 seconds, if your missiles are lasting that long, you're probably killing things so fast anyway that you don't really need the extra despawn time, so I'm probably never going to touch this one. Chrono field reduction, we have so far past the effective hit point. Build being the meta, that this is another lab that I'm definitely not going to touch. Jumping, obviously I've got Golden Tower bonus. That's going to be worked on more econ, but I'm going more towards like special effects from ultimate weapons. Death Wave coin count or bonus. Maybe I'll eventually upgrade this as far as like helping econ, but the fact that it's only going to kill things really early on before you get all of your perks, it feels like maybe I get like 1%, probably less, probably like 0.5% or something of like coin gains from this. So I'm not in any sort of rush. This is going to be like way down the line before I ever even bother touching this. Um, Chrono field range, it seems like 45 is like a good spot where it's not hurting. Well, I mean, it does hurt your coin production, but you also need to have enough range to be able to slow down enemies before they hit your range line. And 45 seems like it's a good spot for that. I've got that good middle ground of give and take for that. And the last one, brush quantity. Right now, for me, it seems like 25 is enough, assuming that I actually get the timing right when I hit it. So, yeah, I can build it up. It goes really fast if I do, so if I save up enough coins between like now and the next event in like 4 days, I could probably just like blitz through it like super fast. So it's not something that's going to take a huge amount of time like Swamp Radius right now. I've got, was it like 25 days left on it or something? So that's pretty big. That's a lot of time. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, Shark Chance like way down the road. I'll probably invest in it just as like I don't have too much else more to invest in. 10% seems to be like a good spot right now. I know later on it gets really expensive time-wise to complete this one, but so I'm not in any rush. It's not something that's going to make a huge difference. And before I even worry about buffing that one, I would need to really maximize chain lightning quantity up to 5, and the chance that you get branches off of it. So that's kind of where I'm at right here. Swamp radius was the big last one that I've been working on. Finally reaching that point, and right now, to share that moment, I'm going to rush that lab, and boom, it is done. Like, oh man, like it's been so long. Like I started like, I think it was about like version 17 that I started to, maybe it was 16 that I really started to hit these ultimate weapon labs. I know that first one that was a real big hurdle to get over was Chronofield. Getting that duration, that 30-second, or that level 30 of that, for that extra 30 seconds of it, that was that was a big hurdle to get through. But and then there's just so many labs along the way that took a lot of time. So yeah, I'm like, damn, there's a gap. And that gap is like a big goal completion just made right now, man. That feels. Whew. But yeah, shoot, I don't even know what I want to go for next. I mean, I've got a lot that I could dunk into. Actually, before I do that, I should probably back up. Let's check out, some of the things that I have. So, like right now, I've got all the ultimate weapons. You can kind of see the values that I have currently. Shock Chance needs a lot of work. As far as like ultimate weapon plus, I've got Chrono Loop, and then I've got Golden Combo. Those are the only ones that are actually contributing anything right now. Light Range, I did get that, and Massive Regret, because if you do have that on, and bosses are in your spotlight, it's going to disable your energy net and your plasma cannon. So that's kind of the current state. Hopefully they fix this bug, because it's like I'm not going to use it at all until that bug is fixed. It's just that bad of a bug. So mistakes were made. and I would say like mistakes were made like here and there. Some were like well-informed choices, and others were just like, oh hey, this looks good, and I didn't get really much feedback. And this is kind of what was going on when I made the more recent choices, where I screwed up a little bit. I thought Light Range was going to expand the angle, instead it extends the range, so that gives you like, so since you can kind of see the cursor, like, let's say that it expands out to this size. Well, your orb line is going to be like way over here. So you basically have like 2 ranges where you're knocking enemies back. And only half of that, since I've got angle up maxed out, is going to actually be like the closer one. So it's not really a good situation, to be honest. As far as like, where do you place your orbs? Do you place your orbs on the outer line for light range, or do you keep it on the inner? I don't know. Right now I'm keeping it on the inner. And then like you can probably see at the top, I've got a bunch of other stones that I just got from the most recent tournament. I'm actually going to save them, because in the future we're going to get a lot of different conditions that are going to pop up, and I want to see how well does my account kind of fare versus other people in tournament. So if it's like, okay, we're going to get armored enemies, and people seem to have like really fast attack speed, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time struggling to keep up with my peers, I might get a few more chunks into chain lightning. Maybe I'm having issues killing enemies in general, so maybe it'll be something. I don't know. We'll see. If it's just like the RNG of things, I might end up getting charged mines, which that's going to cost a lot. That's 975 stones. And then I would be pumping the damage here, so when bosses came in, hopefully they would get sniped out or killed by the charged mines. So that's a possibility to fill in the gap if smart missiles aren't killing bosses. Other things, like if I'm just like getting killed by ranged enemies, I might dip into something like Death Creep. That might be good, in which case, I'd have to be boosting the damage for Poison Swamp. But something like that's not going to help for armor units. So I'm just going to see how my account kind of compares to other people in future tournaments, and I'll probably unlock things from there and just kind of save up a lot of stones. Maybe I save up enough that I'm like, I'll get a few more levels in Golden Combo. Right now I've got it at the base level, and I know if I get one more, that's going to double that bonus. So that's nice as a possible option. I can also expand out my black hole to be a little bit bigger too. So, as far as like ultimate weapons, where that's at, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Enemy health level skips 292. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. I'm able to max it out during tournaments, or at least most tournaments, unless it becomes like a really short tournament, in which I'll probably struggle to max this out. We'll see how that plays out. So far, the battle conditions have been pretty tame versus some of the other ones that we're going to get in the future. So, yeah, I might need some more econ to get that up. But, yeah. I've got another lab slot. And I'm like, do I go with ranged? Do I go with super crit chance? Man, there's a lot here that I can do. Max Ren multiplier. I've been thinking about this as well. Oof. Tough choices. We also have workshop discount. I'm going to save that one for general. Probably max utility discount I'll get once most of these have made some pretty good progress. But if I remember correctly, max rend armor multiplier isn't too bad. So I'm kind of a toss-up between range and this. Let's dip into this. That is a lab that I have not started yet, and starting on level 1 of that, that's kind of cool. My next set of rushes I know is going to go into attack speed, and then I'm probably going to rush at critical factor, since we've got the card ultimate crit, and that basically borrows the crit chance, 49.71. Go to workshop after I claim those gems, because I'm going to need those. You can see that's reflected over here. So the more that I raise up that lab, the more I can kind of double dip into that crit factor. Yeah. So my damage right now, I could raise this up quite a bit. It's at 5,420. Attack range, I have it at 0. Obviously, if I go over to the labs and I'm like, hey, I'm going to decrease range down to nothing, I'll have the base levels of that. Let's see, what else do we have here? So, this is show everything that I've completed. So those are all done. Light speed shot, that was a really good game changer. That helps a lot. Warp speed, that took a while. I procrastinated a lot on the war boss hit for a while. Well, Invol, that's maxed. I got that maxed. What was it? Version 19? I think it was like mid, like pretty much almost like the end of that. I got Wall Thorns up to 13, and I was able only to make like one run of Thorbs, so I couldn't even like record it. I was just like, hey, let's shoot for that T12 relic, and unfortunately the run kind of crashed and burned. But it went really well for quite a while. So Thorbs was definitely an interesting thing. I haven't really made a video because I'm gonna mention that I just never had the chance. Let's see here. So cash bonus, we're getting up there to almost 50. I'll probably stop around 50 for a while, and then really focus on pumping out some more coins. Most of these, effective hit points, all of these. I'll probably max this out in the near future. That's getting up there. I've been working on this off and on. Maybe a little bit of interest, just to make it a little bit easier to hit some of those thresholds. That might be cool. Get that, and then you can see like all of these ultimate weapon labs that I finished, and these are just, whew. These took a long time. Like rotation speed, man. I was working off and on that over at least like 1 to 2 versions. Missile amp, same thing. Man, that took a long time. That felt good when I finished that. Spotlight missiles, that was a huge win once I got that. I've been thinking about doing Death Ray. I don't know when. I might also do a second win. We'll see how things play out, but that should also be a pretty short one. I know Double Death Ray, that one takes a while. I'm just going to kind of get a feel, in the future, how things play out with tournament, if I feel like I actually need this. The problem with getting this is I'm not going to be spreading shock to as many enemies. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of a toss-up on this one. Getting this will decrease my, I don't know, kind of like my damage per second. But it'll be increasing my kills per second, which is kind of a weird trade-off. Man, energy shield, when I got that third hit, that was also a big. We didn't have the econ tools that we have now, so getting that third level was a huge deal at the time. So that was pretty exciting when I got that. I think that was back in version 17, I think. I think it was 17, maybe 18. Waves required right now, it's at level 17. Basically, to get any use out of this, I would need to get 4 more levels into that, so that would be level 21. That'll reduce, basically, with perk wave, reduce perk wave requirements. That cuts into the usefulness of this, so you only get a real reduction every 4 levels. So that'll be 21, 25, etc., from there on out. So this is going to be, this is good for the moment. Once I get my base damage up, I'll be looking into this as just like a quality of life kind of thing. Bots, lots of stuff to do here. I definitely want to max out flamebot frequency, especially with the armored units. I think actually, or armored cubes, battle condition, which we haven't seen in tournament yet. But this will be an extra source of AoE damage, and just like an extra tick here or there off of the enemy's health, I think is going to be useful. And I know eventually Flamebot can get to the point where it fires off pretty frequently from what I've heard. So I'm also, like, as far as my medals, I've been saving those up because I might actually get a larger radius on Flamebot and namely more frequency. So we'll see how how I measure up. How well do I do with my chain lightning? If I raise my chain lightning up enough and that does the job, I'm not going to worry about Flamebot too much. But if I feel like I need that extra bump, I might actually get this. We'll see. Amp bots where it kind of needs to be to roughly sync that. So every 10 waves, it goes off. I've got 3 metal upgrades into that and 8 into the lab here. So that's how I'm doing that. Everyone's device is a little bit different, so if you don't have any metal upgrades, you know, maybe you go for like level 15 in this, and that would do the same thing. But again, everyone's device is a little bit different. This seems to actually work out really, really well for me. Thunderbot, like, this is not a bad upgrade too. That'll help. The uptime on that. Goldbot frequency. I've heard there's maybe some way to synchronize this, but I haven't dived into that. And I know some of the timers have changed recently, so I don't know. Let's see. Some of the ultimate weapon plus stuff seems to affect, like, it'll do damage based on the round hit points. So just to help kind of even it out, so you make sure that things maybe don't survive by like 1 hit point or something. Maybe take a 1 level into common enemy health, you know, or you know, whatever enemy health stats are. I don't know how much I'm gonna delve into these. The bonuses are so small, and it looks like it's kind of fast, but yeah, it's a tough call. Definitely, if I'm going to go all in on one of these, it's going to be boss health. Yeah, that's... Yeah. So when I first started, I saw the end game and I was like, dude, there is no way that I'm going to get anywhere near like the top 50, top 100, or even top 200. And so I played it. It's been like not a year and a half, but it's been over a year now, and somehow I'm here. I'm within like the top 50, averaging about. Sometimes I drop down a little bit, so sometimes it's like top 100, but still like that. Like, I far exceeded where I thought I would be at this point. So I think that's really something cool. It was something that every now and then it's like, oh hey, I'm getting all these little upgrades, and as they say, like, baby steps to run a mile. It was really interesting because I actually had somebody who started around the same time, and their name was RoadToSuccess. And you could look them up if you want. Yeah, we started about the same time. I think they started maybe like half a month, maybe a month before I did. But like, as I was going through the different, copper, into silver, plat, you know, I saw them off and on. You know, I was like, oh hey, here's this reoccurring person. It always like they were always a little ahead of me, and then eventually, like once we actually kind of started jumping into the top 200, they were there for quite a while, and then like over the course of a month, like I just like gained on them, and then I finally passed them, and now I'm at that point where it's like, wow, that's crazy. Like, just kind of blows my mind, you know. Um, and here I am, like I can see myself on the ranked list, and I think that's just like absolutely amazing. And part of that is like, okay, yeah, people are going to get tired of the game on that list, and they're going to drop off. So I think it's possible for anyone who's sticking with it to get up there. Especially because I think the game was out for like a full year before I even got the chance to jump into it. So I feel like that opportunity is there for just about it. So if you enjoy the game for like the little gains that you get, even if you lose to other people in tournaments, which, you know, I'll share. Like, I'm not getting number one all the time. Sometimes I do, which is really cool. But like this last one, you know, I had like I was fourth, I was fifth. You know, there was a few that I was like, you know, I took a little bit of a dump on, you know, as far as like dropping down quite a bit. Um, yeah, had a bunch of higher ranked people than I did, and I finished fourth. So, but you know, overall, it's just like celebrate the little gains that you get, whatever they may be. You know, the victories, like what I'm doing right now, actually finally finishing up that and replacing it with something completely new, which hopefully in about 2-3 weeks I'll be. Oh, hey, guess what? Boom! I'm gonna start that. Start getting those rushes on for that attack speed. Looking forward to maxing that out, because that's been like a permanent lab for, man. There was like a small period where I stopped it, and it was when like the height of when Death Wave was the meta, and effective hit points was king. Just because you couldn't deal enough damage to justify going into any sort of glass cannon build. It was all about Death Wave at the time, and yeah, now it's yeah. And actually, it wasn't until fairly recently that I started pumping my base damage. I think for the last, oh man, what is it? I think version 19, towards the like middle of that, was when I finally started to raise up my damage labs. And my damage itself, like I had to research damage level 40. Like it was 39. It was just absolute trash. And critical factor, I think it was about 45. So now that it's like 59, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna hit 60 here pretty soon. That's pretty awesome. I hear a complaining puppy in the background. But yeah, it's been this has been super exciting. I'm glad that I was able to share some of my progress. You know, and the fact that, you know, in like 2.5, 3 weeks, I'm gonna probably be maxing out attack speed. Like that blows my mind. I was just like, that's one of those that just like it feels like it's so far off in the future, but then like you actually make it happen, and you're like, oh wow, this is wild. But anyway, pretty long video. I talked a ton. Yeah, the meta's gonna change over time. Hopefully, you know, this newer version seems like it's gonna have a lot of like variations compared to like a static meta. Like that meta is gonna kind of change for each tournament, so that's gonna be kind of cool. Um, I'm looking forward to that. The fact that I've got a diversity of ultimate weapons. I can get access to Ultimate Weapon Plus, even though the effects really right now are really buggy. I know like cover fire for most people, they're having issues where it's not even working at all, uh, which absolutely sucks. Uh, I mentioned the bug with light range. It's absolute trash right now. But hopefully we get all these bugs ironed out and everything's working out in the future. Really excited to dive into some of these new things, but it's going to take time, just like anything else. So we'll see how that journey plays out. Thanks for hanging around. If you hung around for this entire time, and I will catch you later.